Rearrange the following into slope-intercept form. Okay. So remember, slope-intercept form is like this. Y is by itself. X is being multiplied by a number, and then a number is being added as well. So when I look over here, I notice, well, first there's these parentheses, right, which aren't here, so we need to get rid of those parentheses. And second, the y isn't by itself, so we need to change both of those things. So first, let's get rid of the parentheses. And the way that I do it is I distribute this fraction here. 1/2 times x is 1/2 x. 1/2 times -6. This is 1/2 times -6 over 1, right? When I have a fraction, when I have a whole number, I can write it as a fraction just by putting it over 1. So this becomes -6 over 2. -6 divided by 2 is -3. So 1/2 times -6 is -3. Then this, I need to get rid of this -5, right? Because in slope-intercept form, the y is by itself. So in order to get y by itself, I need to get rid of this -5 so that the y is by itself on the left side of the equation. I'm going to add 5. I'm going to add it to the like term over here, right? This term has an x with it. This one doesn't. -3 plus 5, that's -3 and +5. So I end up with +2. So then look carefully at the choices, and it's D. Okay, so that was number 7 on your test that many people got wrong. So right now you're going to pause this video and you're going to try this one on the right. Okay, and don't restart the video until you've given this a shot. Number 8, rearrange the following equation to slope-intercept form. So my goal is the same, right? I still want it to look like y equals mx plus b. But this time, my big task is to get y by itself, right? There's a ton of stuff with this y, so I got to get rid of all of it. Well, right now, this 5 is being multiplied by the y, and then this -10x is being added. So we take care of addition and subtraction first, so I'm going to get rid of the -10x first. The opposite is adding 10x. So I do that to both sides. So this becomes 5y, and it's by itself on the left side now. These are not like terms, so we do not add them. We don't do 15 plus 10 and get 25, right? We're going to just write them separately. And I like the term with the x first, so I'm going to put 10x plus 15. Okay. In order to get the y by itself here, I have it being multiplied by 5, so I need to divide by 5. When I divide everything, right? So I divide both of these terms. So 10 divided by 5 is 2, and 15 divided by 5 is 3. Okay, in this case, they're both positive. The 5 is positive, so everything ends up positive. Here's my answer. Pause the video now and try this one. Ask for help if you need to. It's okay to need help. Here's number 11 on the test. And actually, most people got number 11 correct on the test, but it's just basic graphing in slope-intercept form. And I want to just review that real quick first because the next problems really take it to the next level. So remember that when I graph in slope-intercept form, this is slope-intercept form, this is the y-intercept, and that's where I start, right? So the y-intercept is where I start when I graph. You're going to start there. And then this is the slope. Remember, slope tells me how to move. It's rise over run. It tells me how many spaces should I rise and how many spaces should I run. So I'm going to start at my y-intercept. So my y-intercept here is -3. This is the y-axis. The up and down axis is the y-axis. The vertical axis is the y-axis. So when I go to -3, I'm going to -3 on the y-axis. So I'm going to go down 3. 1, 2, 3. And that is where my graph starts. I always start at the y-intercept. Now, my slope is 4. Well, this looks like a fraction. 4 doesn't look like a fraction, so I just make it into a fraction. And if I have a whole number, I put it over 1, always. If it's a whole number, I put it over 1. So this is my rise and run. So I'm going to rise 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. run 1. I always run to the right. 1, 2, 3, 4, run 1. And then draw my line. Okay, pause the video, try the problem off to the right. Ask for help if you need to. Okay, don't just keep going. If you're confused on one thing, do these problems and ask for help so that you can get the help you need before we continue, because everything builds. Number 12. In this case, I want to graph this equation. Well, I don't know how to graph this equation because it doesn't look like y equals mx plus b, right? And so what I can do though is I can rearrange it so that it does look like y equals mx plus b. So the way that I'm going to do that, first, I'm going to get rid of these parentheses, and the way that I'm going to do it is I'm going to distribute. So I'm going to just bring down y minus 5. 1/3 times x is 1/3 x. And 1/3 times negative 12. This is 1/3 times, this is a negative 12. And if it's a whole number, I put it over 1. 1 times negative 12 is negative 12. And 3 times 1 is 3. So this is negative 12 over 3. Negative 12 divided by 3. Negative divided by positive is a negative. And 12 divided by 3 is 4. My next step to make this look like y equals mx plus b is to get y by itself, because in y equals mx plus b, the y is by itself on the left side of the equation. Here, there's a minus 5 with it, so I'm going to get rid of that minus 5 by adding 5. Add it to the like terms over here. Y equals 1/3 x, and this is minus 4 positive 5. So this cancels, 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 and I'm left with plus 1. So now I do have y equals mx plus b. So that means, remember, this is my y-intercept, this number, that's where I start. So I go on the y-axis, I go to 1. And then here's my slope, that's my rise over my run. So I'm going to start here. I'm going to rise 1, run 3. I always run to the right. Rise 1, run 3. Okay, and then the video is over now. You're gonna go to the right side and you're gonna do this problem on the right side.